Hello and welcome to match 2 with Giftless Brains in Modern. Uh, this hand looks keepable. The 2 brain in a jars is bad, but we can just discard it if we draw a Cathartic Reunion. We're just going to start with a Flooded Strand and pass the turn. So in the last match I briefly mentioned that I might add a basic. I decided not to. I decided I should keep it the same. Just for the integrity of the deck. And what I showed in the deck tick is what I should play. So I'm going to get a Watery Grave because we have all the red and black that we need. We just needed blue. So we drew Polluted Delta. So do we play the Brain in the Jar or the Wall of Omens? I think we get the Brain. So Steam Vents is the only shock we don't have, so I'm going to run out a Steam Vents and then play a Brain. See if our opponent has Spell Snare. So, for the following turns, my plan is to Wall of Omens, tick up Brain, and then Lightning Helix, whatever, either a creature or him, with Brain on 2, and then hope to draw good cards. And because we have this second Brain, it doesn't matter if he counters this one. He didn't, but his pause leads me to believe that he has a counterspell of some kind. He just played a second island, which kind of has me where I'd like to draw a Gitaxian Probe. Oh, hey. Ask and you shall receive. So we're going to take up the Brain. So I could just cast it for life and not tap the Brain needlessly. Well, not needlessly, but... Alright, so we got... So this looks like Mono Blue Tron, but they don't have any of their Tron lands. So they have Spatial Contortion, Sundering Titan, Urborg, Island, Filmgree Familiar, which is a great card. Cyclonic Rift, and there's Condescend. Yep. So they do have the counterspell. So let's just play the Wall of Omens. Doesn't really matter if this gets countered. I would like to draw a card, but I don't see any reason for our opponent to counter this. They'll probably just let it go, which is fine by me. Cathartic Reunion, which is a great draw. Love this card. I play in Modern, in paper, I have a Splendid Reclamation Valakut deck, and this card is just bananas and dredge. Esper Charm, the draw for us. We're just going to play a Flooded Strand and pass the turn. We don't have anything we need to do. We can actually just leave the Flooded Strand alone because he has the Urborg. So Thirst for Knowledge for our opponent. Probably going to discard Sundering Titan. Well, it depends on his draw, but the reason I say Sundering Titan is just because it's uncastable right now. Filmgree Familiar, the discard. Yep, there's the Tron lands. I was right. It is Mono Blue Tron. So they play Expedition Map. This is going to be interesting. We don't have a lot. Well, we have Land Destruction, but we don't have, like... We don't have... Crumble to Dust, which is a card I really like having against these sorts of decks. So I'll discard Blood Crypt and Brain in a Jar to cast Cathartic Reunion. Looks like it's going to resolve. And we got Path and 2 lands. Draw an additional land. Okay, so this is fine. I'm just going to play the Mire and pass the turn. The nice thing about Brain is it makes his Condescend so much worse because he can only do it for 2, and we're only going to be casting Esper Charm for 1. Like once he gets his Tron lands online, it's a different story. But well, all right. So pile 1 will give him. All right, that's right. This is in fact fiction. This they organized. All right. Oh, that's tough. If they leave the piles like this, I think we give them Academy Ruins. We want to delay their Tron as soon as possible. But part of me also thinks that it's inevitable that they'll get Tron. Okay. I mean, it makes their expedition map choose tower or power plant. But I know they don't have it. Well, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that they don't have it. So I think I'll give them Academy Ruins. Just like I wouldn't have mind. I still would have given them the Academy Ruins, I think, even if they'd put Condescend with it, just because Condescend is generally bad with a Resolve Brain in a Jar because we have all this mana to pay for it. Even if they did it for 3, 4, we have the mana, we just have to crack fetches. Go to 10. Alright, moving to their end step, we are going to cast Esper Charm to draw cards. I could make them discard, but I don't really see a merit in it because they discard the Condescend and other bad cards that aren't good right now. Cathartic Reunion, the draw. Play a Delta. We'll Cathartic Reunion pitching these 2 lands. Let's see if this resolves. It's possible it won't. And it did. Oh man, we're just drawing all the lands. Alright, so at the end of their turn, I'm going to start cracking these fetches. Maybe Helix them just to gain the life back. Power Plant entered the revealed card zone. So they have the 3rd Tron piece. Really hoping for Goblin Dark Dwellers and Boombuster. Are these Cathartic Reunions? That would just be the bee's knees. So they return Expedition Map to their hand. Play Expedition Map. And pass. So we'll crack fetch land number 1. Get Watery Grave. Crack fetch land number 2. Do we even have any more fetchable lands? We don't. They're all in our hand. Tapped. And pass. Or we receive priority. So let's play the Colonnade. Let's attempt to resolve a Tassiger. We have plenty of cards in our graveyard, so we can delve a lot. Alright, actually, let's go back. Let's be smart about our delve. So if this resolves, but they go to remove it, and we activate it, they can't give us land, so let's make sure we get rid of the things that we don't want back in our hand first. Really, it's just Brain in a Jar now that I look at it. I'm okay with getting Probe. I'm okay with all this stuff. Get rid of that. So we're attempting to resolve Tassiger, the Golden Fang. First cast of our 4 matches with this deck. So this card is huge in John and Grixis decks right now, just because they can put so many cards in their library, in their graveyard so quickly. Huge value card. I'm absolutely in love with Tassiger. Opponent cracks Expedition Map. Tron is online. Expecting to see Sundering Titan here. They can kill. They can take out all of our black sources. They can take out several of our red sources. We're going to lose a lot of lands to Sundering Titan. Which is unfortunate because we're the one who wants to destroy lands. We can remove it though, so not terribly worried. Cyclonic Rift. Now the interesting question is, do we activate in response? I think we do. Sundering Titan is going to come down whether we want it to or not. So we might as well get some value out of this Tasigur. So we milled Brain in a Jar and Far and Away. That's not what I want to see. They're probably going to give us the Brain. I would actually prefer they give us the Blood Crypt, but they can't. Cathartic Reunion. Perfect. I'm okay with that. Do it. Get rid of this stupid Agony Warp, which has not been good thus far. Oh, now they're looking at Far and Away? I don't know why they haven't given us Brain yet. Alright, they gave us Far and Away. Your Cyclonic Rift resolves. Sundering Titan. Yup. Alright, so choose a land type. Choose a land of each basic land type and destroy those lands. So he's going to nuke all of these. Plains, island, mountain, swamp. We're probably going to be left with one source. We're going to be left with Colonnade. We got that going for us. Yeah, it makes more sense why he gave us the Far and Away now, because now we can't cast the away side, which is the important part, or the Tasigur. Hey, a functional land. Cute. I would like to draw our Noxious Revival and put a land back on top. Enters or leaves the battlefield. That's the worst part. He has to take out all the rest of our lands. That's why I didn't play the Hallowed Fountain, because I'm probably just going to path. I don't really have a choice. I mean, that's the best card to play against it, but man, does it feel bad. Kill these two, and then he has to kill one of his. Oh, no, he doesn't, because he gets the island requirement from ours. So we're down to 2 lands, because we don't have any fetchables left in our deck. Really hurting for that Noxious Revival. The Brain in a Jar is keeping us afloat, kind of. We're in a really bad spot. Filigree Familiar for our opponent. Batterskull. Probably going to make him return that Germ token to his hand. Boombust. Well, Boombust is a card. It could be relevant. Destroying all lands doesn't seem like the worst thing that's ever happened. The worst thing that we could do. God shock that in to just keep ourselves afloat, really. Do we have... Are we out of Blood Crypts? Do I run? Oh, there they both are. Okay. All right. Here comes some pain, I think. So the pain trains are coming. This is gonna get countered, but we're gonna attempt to cast far on the germ token. The reason we did that inside of combat is just so we can't throw it on Filigree Familiar. And also before blocks, so that way we can still block if it doesn't get returned. Yeah, they're in the driver's seat now. Because we don't have any other lands, I don't know that there's a lot that we can do besides just ticking a brain until we eventually try to cast Bust, but it's probably going to get countered. We'll play it out for as long as we can. But I don't see us getting out of this anytime soon. Because of that Sundering Titan. Let's just see, just to make sure. Yeah, nothing. Trickvine is actually good against Sundering Titan. Make sure to keep that in. Yeah, I think we just scoop it up here. There's nothing we can do. We can't remove any of their threats. Good game, opponent. Let's go to match 2. Game 2. You know what I mean. Alright, so let's bring in Relic, Nihil, Wear Tear. I don't think that that's necessary. Bring in Boom Bust, all 4. Bring in Hiri, bring in Emrakul. These 2 just as another win condition. Alright, so what do we cut? Agony Warp is bad. Although they have Filigree Familiar, Dismember is bad. Path is okay. Far and Away seems bad. Maybe cut 1 Boom Bust. Cut 1 Brain. I think we cut a Supreme Verdict too. Well, it can't be countered. I'll leave it in. I'll cut 1 Nihil Spell. I'll cut the Nihil Spell Bomb actually. And I'll get rid of either, I'm thinking Tassiger, just because it gets removed so easily. But I want the 3 Boom Bust. That was accidental. And I think a Probe, just because probes are do nothing. Alright, so let's run it back and see if we can't pull a win out. So our opponent is still deciding on what his sideboard plan is going to be. I think that we will be okay if we can draw and resolve a Boom Bust with a Dark Dwellers on the battlefield. I think we'll be okay if we can do that. It's possible that we should be running more lands in this list. I maybe should have tested it a bit more extensively before running it out, but it is what it is. This is garbage. This segment is called Garbage Fire for a reason. And we're going to ship this no lands. Same looks fine. We got the Boom Bust. We got a fetch to play the the boom half on and crack it so that way we don't lose any value. So we'll keep this hand. This hand seems good. Turn 1, I think I'm just going to probe, play the steam vents tapped and pass. So our opponent also mulled a 6, and they're taking a minute to decide whether or not they want to keep. So maybe we'll get lucky and they keep a bad 6 and they mold a 5. Alright, so they keep their 6. We're going to keep the Bloodstained Mire, I think. I think we're okay with drawing that. Alright, so let's lead off with Probe. Just set the tone. Make sure we select the right player. Alright, so let's see what they got. Condescend ×2, Mindslayer lands. Okie dokie. So we'll play the Steam Vents tapped. And say go. Just gonna F6, let them do what they gotta do. So they're not gonna be able to condescend us, fortunately. So we'll play the Watery Grave Shocked in. Just run out the Brain in a Jar. That was not a good draw for us, but I'll take what I can get against a deck that wants to destroy my lands. Maybe I should have held it and cracked a fetch instead, but it is what it is. Oh good, they played the tower. Alright, so because they played a tower, that means we get to destroy a Tron piece. So let's cast the right half of Boom Bust. Choose target land we control. Target land we don't control. Gonna make sure to hold priority here. But actually, I think I'm okay with letting this Bloodstained Mire get destroyed. I'm sure he's gonna respond. Yeah, so we're gonna crack this. We're gonna crack this, and we're gonna get a Sacred Foundry untapped. Pay the 1. So Boom Bust resolves. We get to destroy their tower, which we know from their hand that they don't have any other Tron pieces. They don't really have anything else going on. They had the Mindslaver, which is far, far away. And they had Obero, which could actually be problematic for us because they can bounce it and they'll have a land. But then they had 2 Condescends. Ooh, scandalous. Fuck it, go big or go home, right? I always get it mixed up because I feel like Boom should be the destroy all lands, not Bust. So again, making sure that we hold priority. But I'm okay if this gets destroyed. Alright, he looks like he's going to go for it. Epiphany of the Drown Yard. Alright, well, we'll crack our fetch in response to that. Just get a Blood Crypt tapped. Sure, your Epiphany resolves. There's Foreknowledge and Spellburst. I think we give him... Alright, well... Let's give them Spellburst, because they're not going to be able to buy it back for a while. Plus, we have way more mana than them. Love to draw a threat. I plan to just tick up that Brain right now. Just to get it closer to Anguish Unmaking, and also because we don't have anything to do on 1, so we might as well get it to 2. Maybe I'll get a Trick Bind or something. And we draw Esper Charm. Cool. Cool. So let's just play the Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. see what our opponent does, and then maybe cast Esper Charm. No, we'll just take up the brain. No. No, no, no. We'll just cast Esper Charm, draw 2 cards. White, black, blue. Since they just have Condescend and the Spell Burst, we can pay the 1. So I'm not particularly worried. So we drew some good cards. Because of this, I'm going to leave the brain on 2. Play the Colonnade. And play a Wall of Omens for our turn. That's probably just going to be it. There's not a lot going on right now. There's not so much we can do. Alright, Trick Bind's good. Trick Bind is really good because it stops Sundering Titan. And... oh, okay. I was going to say it prevents it from activating twice, but that's only for activated abilities. So, again, just going to leave it on 1 because we have stuff to cast. Alright. I was tempted to attack with Colonnade, but I'd rather cast Peer Through Depths. Try to dig. Ooh, my opponent's going to go to discard, I think. Alright, well, we're going to tick up Brain and cast Peer Through Depths. Nice thing about Peer Through Depths is if they're all bad, we can just put them all to the bottom. Remand. Sure. And I'll just recast it. Cathartic Reunion, Path, Lightning Helix. Oh, I'll take the Reunion. Send all these to the bottom. Doesn't matter the order. So, let's see what they discard. Mindslaver. Alright, I'm going to keep this Delta in my hand. But I am going to attack with Colonnade. Well, maybe... oh, I need a white. Tapped too recklessly. So, a big part of the reason I chose Colonnade over Fumarole, Needle Spires, Creeping Tarbit, etc., all the X Manland in our colors, is because it has Vigilance. So, because it has Vigilance, if it didn't, normally I would be inclined to play the Polluted Delta so we could take up the Brain if we need to cast either of these. Well, probably just this one. I'm not sure if I could do that with the Fuse. But let's assume that I can, for the sake of arguing. I would have to play the Polluted Delta, which I'd rather keep in my hand in case of Sundering Titan. And now we can use it without having to waste our Polluted Delta. So our opponent just goes to discard again. Looks like those lands that we destroyed were really vital to what they were doing. Because, look, they had a Fabricate. That could have gotten any number of potential threats. Alright, so let's just attack with Colonnade again. If they stop us, they stop us. But I haven't played a land for turn, so I can just replay it. So we attempt to get in 4/4. Opponent does nothing, it goes to 12. Passes the turn. Oh, okay. Paying cost. Cyclonic Rift. To return Brain and Jar to my hand. Yeah, that's fine. Nothing we can do about that. Oh, that's why they didn't do anything. Cyclonic Rift reads non-land permanent. Fun, fun. Alright, so they got a power plant. Trinket Mage. Trinket Mage resolves. For converted mana cost 1 or less, reveal that card, put it into your hand. Alright, let's see what they get. Pithing Needle. Probably gonna name Brain. I'm gonna run it out anyway, though. Because I'm a real man. And I can destroy it with Wear Tear. So, let's play Wall of Omens. Brain. Well, it is what it is. We could, in theory, I think it works, but we could trick bind the needle and laugh, but we're not going to do that. We're not even going to activate. We're not even going to deal with it this turn. I'm just going to tick it up and pass, or let him do it. Because we don't need to yet. We don't need to deal with Pithing Needle until our turn. I'd rather them feel safe and then tap out, or tap more blue mana. So, Pithing Needle naming Brain. Naming Celestial Colonnade. That's fun. Still gonna kill it, but that's fun. Turn target online permanent. Alright, so they're gonna bounce our Brain. Alright, let's get in with Trinket Mage. I'll double block. I ain't scared. Ooh. Boom Bust. Well, because we drew the Boom Bust, we're gonna have some fun. So, we're gonna cast Boom, making sure to hold priority and select our fetch land. Might as well tap the Colonnade since we're not going to be using it this turn. So, priority held, crack fetch. Get... Does it matter? No. Okay, because I'm just going to send it in tapped. We'll get White Source. Tapped. Okay. Let it resolve. We need to close this game out, though. We're at 10 minutes. We need to get a creature on board. So we're going to cast Cathartic Reunion. Discard, discard. Shuffle everything away. Draw 3. Hot garbage. Let's destroy that. Just so our win condition is back online. Because I need to start beating down again. Quickly. I've cut their land count down significantly. So I'm hoping that that slows them down enough to where they can't deal with Colonnade. Plus we have Trick Bind if that can do anything. Alright, so I guess we destroyed the wrong one. Because they have another tower. Come on, Dark Dwellers. Come on, Dark Dwellers. Never mind. Alright, so Boom Bust for us again. So we're going to bait out the counterspell, I think. Do we have enough mana still? So that costs 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll have enough. Cast. Bust. No, boom. Ah, hate that. Hate it. Target tower. Wait to see if our opponent does anything. I'm just going to let it kill our fetch. I don't care. I don't think we have another one to fetch. We don't. We might have one. But I anticipate our opponent to do something anyway. So we crack our fetch land. Yeah. No planes. Alright, so counter target spell with converted mana cost. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Nothing we can do about that. So we're going to play our wall. Lightning Helix. Okay. Brain in a jar. Pass the turn. Hope that they don't draw Tron naturally. And then slam a Sundering Titan. Let's take up our brain on the end step, I think. So they drew and played Power Plant. Paying costs. Repeal. Sure. Okay. Well, is repeal non-land? Out of curiosity. Oh, that's remand. Non-land permanent. Alright, so we're gonna just beat down with Colonnade. Hold up Trickbind and Helix. Maybe play the Watery Grave for Anguished. Oh, I love Colonnade. It's so good. Just gonna leave the Watery Grave in my hand. There's no reason to do anything with it, just because I know they have land destruction, and we also have mass land destruction. So if we can resolve, oh, they hit Tron, but if we can resolve Brain, and then Boom Bust with Dark Dwellers, and then have Brain in a Jar, and then any land, we're in a good position. So they have 9 mana now. I don't know if they can do anything. I hope that they Mindslaver, because I can Trickbind it. And Trickbind has split second. So regardless of what they do, they can't stop Trickbind. Treasure Mage. Sure. Card I can kill with Lightning Helix. Okay. Treasure Mage resolves. Sundering Titan entered the revealed card zone. Slam Sundering Titan? Yeah, bud. Not going to deal with it, but I'm going to deal with your trigger. Didn't see that coming now, did you? Alright, so Sundering Titan is not an issue right now because it doesn't have trample and we have 4 Wall of Omens. Or 3 Wall of Omens, pardon me. So, get out, Emrakul. No one likes you. So we're just going to get in with Colonnade because none of their creatures have flying, and we can put them to 1. I don't know that we will, but it's something we have the ability to do. We don't have any burn. Like, we don't even have a 1 of Electrolyze or anything like that. Oh, well, I mean, burn outside of Lightning Helix. Might as well. I don't hate it. I'll just tap out. Against Mono Blue Tron seems bad, but they're at 1, so it is what it is. If we lose, we lose. But I think that doing it that way was fine. So I think our opponent was F6ing and then F6'd into their own attack step. So they attack with everybody. We're going to throw a Wall of Omens under that bus and take 4. I don't really care about taking 4. What do they got? Thirst for knowledge. Hopefully they don't. No, that's. Hopefully they don't draw maybe a repeal, I guess, and then return Sundering Titan and then blow up our land so we can't activate Colonnade. I can see that being a play. But then I'm just hoping that we draw Lightning Helix. I think all three of them are all two of them that are left are, yeah, they're in the deck. So we have 37 cards to dig through. At least one of them's not Emrakul, because it's in our hand. Stupid Emrakul. Good card. Alright. Oh, man, they drew Ghost Quarter, which is Wasteland. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Well, we will anyway, because we want to shuffle. Always shuffle when you get the opportunity, because you might draw Lightning Helix off the top. Do you have a counter? Do you have the Spell Burst? Can't remember if they bought it back or not. No, they didn't. They might have another one, though. Let's see. Condescend X5. Sure. It wouldn't have mattered if we had played the Watergrave and Shocked In or not. We are going to play the Watery Grave, though. This is when Tron, Mono Blue Tron gets good. When you're late in the... Ooh, that's nasty. You're late in the game, and it's really... And they have all these stupid counterspells that nobody ever plays, but they get to play them because they have all the mana in the world. So we'll block. Block. Polluted Delta. We could go for the Hardcast Emrakul plan if we had Blood Moon. But we don't have Blood Moon, so we're just going to play Brain in a Jar. That Ghost Quarter was such a good draw for them. This is probably not going to resolve. I don't see why they would let it. Well, no. I can see why they would let it. I would let it and then just counter whatever I play off of it. The only problem is the cost reduction against their, like, Condescends. I don't know. I don't play Mono Blue Tron, so I don't know what I would do. Looks like they're going to either activate their Academy Ruins or counter it. Activating Academy Ruins to get Mindslaver back on top. Emrakul, I hate you. The worst. So that Anguish Unmaking looks pretty bad right about now, given that they have the Mindslaver. So I'm gonna attempt to somehow Anguish Unmaking Mindslaver, even though we don't really gain priority any point between now and when they sack it. Well, maybe we do. The reason I'm doing it this way, I know that this is going to fizzle or get countered. But I'm doing it this way because I have yeah, they're just going to sack it. So it fizzles. They actually should have let it resolve because they could have killed me. But they didn't see it, and I was really counting on them not seeing it. If they were smart, they would have let it resolve and then cracked me, but I just figured that they would want to just crack it. There's no reason that they shouldn't crack it. I don't know. It's silly. Silly the way that card works. So we're gonna go to 3 and hope we don't draw Lightning Helix. Take up the brain just cause. They get to see our garbage hand. We drew Path. They could Path their own Titan. I don't know why they would. Yeah, crack it. Look at our deck. Play this. Look at our deck. Do they even... I don't think we have any more lands to fetch. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, they got there. don't believe that this functions the same as Emrakul, and we don't get another turn. They got it. Well, thank you for joining me for match 2, where we just got housed again. Like I said, that this is not... In the case of this matchup, I would say that this was the deck just being bad. Not like the Hexproof matchup, where we just got beat down too quick and I made a couple of play errors. I would say that the deck just didn't have a good matchup against this. Even with the main deck land destruction, all the counters and the brain. I don't know. It's hard to blame the deck for my loss, but that said, thank you for joining me for match number 2 with Giftless Brains.